This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with more Hakuōki, Stories of the Shinsengumi for the PS3. Last time, our female protagonist Hinata found out about her found out maybe a little taste of what her true heritage is. We met 3 evil Ronin who were part of the Chosu or whatever group. They're anti-Shinsengumi, there you go. But they told her she was a demon. Is it true? We got more to find out, because why not lie to us to make us believe what they want to distract us? But today, perhaps we'll find out more as we take a walk along the compound. The compound was alive with noise and movement. I passed several soldiers in the hall, each one of them excited about something. This is unconscionable. Never in all my life. Whoa, sorry, I didn't mean to do. I pressed another shoulder button again. Ito, is something wrong? Yes, I'd say something is wrong. Why should I have to be made to bare my skin in the same room as those savages? Okay. Ito's explanation was anything but. Is there something going on today? Ito did his best to collect himself, shakily adjusting his hair and clothing before he spoke. I suppose the doctor that Kondo met during the Shogun's visit has come here. He is conducting physical examinations. With a disdainful sniff, he glared pointedly across the hall towards the area he had just left. The men were getting physical checkups, that much I knew. Given my particular situation, I'd been exempted by the captains, who had given me special instructions to stay away. That hairless monster, he demanded that I remove my clothes in front of everyone. When I refused, as any decent man would, he attempted to remove them by force. And the rest of them just stood there. Or just stood there. What sort of uncultured savages are they? Savages seemed a bit strong. At any rate, perhaps I should go see just what a physical entailed. I was a doctor's daughter, after all. What's that doctor's name? I believe he called himself Ryojin Matsumoto. What? Wait, Dr. Matsumoto? When I first came to Kyoto, my plan had been to try and find Dr. Matsumoto. My father had told me that I could rely on the man if I ever needed anything. Unfortunately, he'd been away on business when I arrived. And after that, I'm going to watch the physical exams. There was no time to waste. Oh my, so you want to see those savages? What peculiar tastes. Yeah, I wonder why she hadn't tried finding the doctor. I wonder if she had just forgotten, which is quite possible. Is this it? I could hear loud voices from inside. Oh. Looks like Hinata is getting a bit of a man candy show out there. The scene froze me in place. Alright, next. Apparently Nagakura is the most muscly out of all of them. At last, my turn. Check this out, Doc. What do you think? You're looking at an amazing product of years of training. Your body's fine, Shin. I think it's your head the doctor ought to be taking a look at. What's that? You say you want me to beat the daylights out of you? You're fine, Shinpachi Nagakura. Move along. Next. Whoa, hold on there, Doc. You gotta get a good look at this.
Yeah. 申し分ない健康体だ。
No, you're quite fine. Healthy as a horse. And I've seen quite enough. Thank you.
シンパチ、後ろが使えてるんだからさっさと終わらせろ。
You're holding up the line, Shinpachi. Get moving, alright?
そうじゃなくてよ。もっと他に見るところがあんだろ。
I'm just saying, I don't think you've really had the time to full examine.
診察は見てもらうものであって見せつけるものじゃない。さっさとどけ。
A medical examination is for finding problems, not showing off. Now move. It wasn't difficult to see why Ito had been so desperate to escape. I couldn't imagine him as part of such a display.
君はもう少し胃腸に気をつけるようにな。この薬を食後に飲むように。
You need to take better care of your digestive system. Here, take this after every meal.
今ので薬が切れたか。
Looks like I'm out of medicine. I was waiting outside when Matsumoto stepped out of the room where he was conducting the examinations. Excuse me?
Hmm?
Yes? He looked at me for a moment, his eyes narrowed in curiosity.
薬の補充も兼ねて休憩にしようか。君、ちょっと手伝ってくれるかね。
Well, I need to fetch some more medicine, so perhaps now is a good time for a break. Can you give me a hand? Oh, yes, of course. What luck? Dr. Matsumoto?
松本先生、雪村君。
Doctor. Hello, Yukimura. Kondo appeared just as I was preparing to introduce myself to the doctor.
おお、早速会えたようだな。
I see you found her already.
はい、おかげさまで。感謝しております。
Yes, thanks to you. What? I was utterly lost. Dr. Matsumoto laid a gentle hand on my shoulder.
私は君に会うためにここに来たんだよ。
Hinata, I came here to see you.
高堂さんの娘さんがここに身を寄せていると近藤さんが教えてくれたんだ。
Kondo told me that Kondo's daughter was staying with the Shinsengumi. Oh, I see.
高堂さんと松本先生が懇意にしていたことは俺も知っていたからな。
I knew Kondo and Matsumoto were acquaintances.
何か高堂さんの手がかりになればと思い、松本先生が今日に戻ってすぐに連絡を取った。
So I thought perhaps Matsumoto might be able to give us a clue as to his friend's whereabouts. I looked him up as soon as he returned to Kyoto. The Shinsengumi had their own reasons for wanting my father found, but Dr. Matsumoto's appearance was still cause for joy. Thank you, both of you. They smiled. As they had their way with me. I mean, no, that's... Dr. Matsumoto went on to explain that he had just barely missed me when he left for Edo as I came to Kyoto. He'd received all my letters, but once he had finally returned, he had no idea where I'd gone and consequently couldn't come find me. Kondo mentioned my presence had taken him quite by surprise.
すれ違いだったとはいえ、辛い思いをさせてしまったようだ。
I'm sorry that I missed you. You must have had a rough time of it.
君がここにいる事情は分かっておるよ。
Is there anything you
不
need?
自由なこと。
No, I'm alright. So, Dr. Matsumoto, about my father. His face took on a grim cast, and before he even spoke, I knew what his response would be.
残念ながら、私も高堂さんの居場所は知らないんだ。
Unfortunately, I know no more about where Kodo might be than you do. I see. The defeated tone of my voice surprised me. I suppose on some level I had believed that Dr. Matsumoto would have some sort of miraculous revelation about my father. Foolish of me, of course, but that didn't make the truth any less devastating. Kondo simply nodded.
君はここにいることであの薬に関わってしまったようだが。
I hear you become involved with the treatment.
あの薬、つまり高堂さんが新選組で行っていた研究のことについてだが。
You know what I mean, don't you? Kodo's experiments? Yes, I knew what he meant. The experiments my father conducted with some strange concoction that could make people go mad. Please tell me about it. I want to know everything my father was doing. He nodded.
高堂さんが新選組で行っていたのは幕府の命令による羅刹を生み出す実験だった。
Kodo was working with the Shinsengumi under orders from the Shogun to create what were called Furies.
羅刹とはすなわち鬼人のごとき力と驚異的な治癒能力を持つ人間のことだ。
Aren't Furies like spirits from like Greek mythology? I think, if I remember correctly. And I think they're usually women in Greek mythology. It's been forever since I've studied that type of stuff, but Furies, a creature with a heightened sense of heightened speed and strength and the ability to heal from almost any wounds. Drinking the water of life will transform a human into a Fury. One must stab a Fury through the heart or remove its head in order to truly kill it. It's like a vampire, except not. Yeah. Furies. It was the first time I'd heard the word. No, I think you've actually heard that before. Didn't someone else mention that? Or no, I guess I was thinking Game Encyclopedia. Never mind. The doctor paused for a moment to look at me, then continued.
そしてその羅刹を生み出したのは落ち水という薬だ。
The substance that transformed normal men to these Furies is called the water of life. Fury? I don't know what's wrong with me. Brr. Water of life, a substance imported from the west that turns those who take it into Furies until it was refined by Kodo Yokomura. It was too toxic to use. Until it was refined, it was too toxic to use.
これは西洋ではエリクサー、中国では先端と呼ばれるものに値する。
In China, they call it sentan.
つまるところ、不老不死の霊薬みたいなものだ。
In short, it grants immortality. Furies? Water of life? It sounded more like something from a fairy tale than real life. But there was something in the tone of Dr. Matsumoto's voice that said he was telling the truth. I've already heard about how it can make you strong and hard to kill, but doesn't it cause so much pain that makes people go crazy? And even if you survive that, then even the smell of blood can make you go crazy again. Dr. Matsumoto nodded slowly, then pinched the bridge of his nose with the thumb and forefinger. He looked very tired.
そこまで知っていたのか。
So, you know about that too? Yes. They were humans, but not they were human, but not human. Perhaps they were something entirely different now. I couldn't see how this water of life could ever be used for good. Even if it had helped heal Sandon's arm, he had suffered greatly in the process. Why? It came out more a moan than a question. My father would never want to ruin the life of another, but because of what he had done, people had suffered. Some had even died. Why was my father doing this? But it wasn't just my father. I was sure no one involved had wanted such a terrible outcome.
だからこそ、両親の呵責に耐えかねた行動さんはここを去ったんだろう。
Perhaps that is why Kodo left. His conscience would no longer allow him to continue.
しかし、あれは幕府が新選組の戦力増強のために与えてくれた知恵だ。
But the water of life was an opportunity given to us by the Shogun to help strengthen the Shinsengumi. The doctor only shook his head.
あの計画は失敗だ。行わない方がいい。幕府も見切りをつけているはずだ。
It was an experiment, and it has failed. You should put it behind you. I'm sure the shogunate has abandoned it as well. Kondo frowned, perhaps unhappy that Dr. Matsumoto would question the shogunate's original decision.
実験体になった大使たちがどうなったか、それは近藤さんもよく知ってるだろう。
You've seen what happened to men it was tested on, Kondo.
あの計画は人道的に決して許されるもんじゃない。
It cannot be allowed to continue. This experiment is inhuman, and you know it. Kondo gave an uncommittal grunt and fell silent. I was sure Kondo knew how dangerous it was to use the water of life, but the shogunate had come to him with a request. Perhaps he was unable to refuse, even if he wanted to. Silence fell like a thick blanket. It had grown almost unbearable when...
部外者に文句を言われる筋合いはありません。
An outsider has no right to object. Sanon. He was especially pale, which seemed to be one of the consequences for being active during the day. Is it okay for you to be up right now?
三男君、顔色が悪そうに見えるぞ。
Sanon, you look pale.
ご心配なく。
Don't worry about me. He bowed quickly, his mouth a compressed line, and turned to regard the doctor with a cool gaze.
我々は我々の裁量で例の薬を有効に活用させていただいています。
We use this We use this treatment effectively and at our own discretion.
しかし危険だ。あの薬は強すぎる。
It's dangerous and far too strong.
研究は続いています。そしてすでにこの私という成功例もあります。
We have continued Kodo's research. I am, as you can see, living proof, so to speak. As Sanden did indeed prove, it was possible to drink the water of life and retain your sanity. It just wasn't easy.
確かにそうかもしれん。だが、成功が続くとは限らん。
Perhaps you're right, but one success hardly means you have unlocked its secrets.
いいえ、今後も研究と改良を重ねれば成功率が上がるのは明らかです。
I respectfully disagree. With continued research and modification, we will have many more successes and fewer casualties.
今までと比べて犠牲者が減ればいいという話ではない。
This isn't a matter of fewer casualties. It's a matter of casualties, period.
無駄死にするものはもうこれ以上。一人として増やすべきではなかろう。
It isn't worth the death of any more of your men.
彼らは我々の礎となったのです。無駄死にではありません。
The men who gave their lives are the fountains of our work. I won't allow you to have them to have died in vain.
しかしだな。
But.
まあ二人とも。
Alright, that's enough from both of you.
計画の話は後日改めてということにせんか。
Why don't we discuss this some other time? It was my private opinion that they were unlikely to agree, no matter what time they discussed the subject, but I felt it'd be polite to keep that to myself.
そうですね。
Very well. There seemed to be very little in the way of common ground between them, but I could see the merit of both of their arguments. My Kondo had as well, and had chosen to end things before it got unpleasant.
近藤さんがそうおっしゃるなら。
If you insist, Kondo. Sanden's face betraying nothing of what he might be thinking, even with the corner of his mouth quirked up into the beginning of a smile. He bowed once more and left as swiftly as he'd arrived. Kondo cleared his throat loudly.
そういえば、健康診断はどうでしたかな?
So, how did the exams go?
それなんだがな。
Yes, about that. Dr. Matsumoto's face took on the look of someone who about to discuss something exceedingly grotesque.
怪我人や病人を合計したら、全体種の3分の1近くになるじゃないか。
Nearly a third of your men are sick, or injured, or both. What?
なんと
Impossible.
なんとじゃないぞ、近藤さん。あんたらは今まで何をやってたんだ?
It is not only possible, Kondo, it is the truth. What on earth have you been doing to these poor men?
切り傷から渋り腹まで、この豚書は病の見本市だぞ。
Cuts, lacerations, bowel pain. The entire place is lousy with, well, lice for one.
そんなことになっていたのか。
Are you serious?
まずは病室を用意して、そこに病人を運び込んでくれ。
First, you need to set aside a room dedicated to medical care. Sick men can be sent there.
それから、豚書を清潔にしてもらわんと話にならない。
Second, you need to clean this place up. Otherwise, I won't be able to help you.
なるほど。そうであったか。
I see. Well, if the good doctor says so. And so we were ordered to clean the entire compound. The captains complained, although they certainly seemed less than enthusiastic about the idea. Or no, complied, sorry. Read it wrong. The following day, Dr. Matsumoto returned for an inspection. Well, you certainly cleaned this place up. He looked pleased, if not a little smug.
そりゃ死ぬ気で頑張ったからな。
It better be. We busted our asses.
でも掃除は一日休んでただろ。ずるいよな。
Yeah, except for Soji. The only thing his ass busted was a chair. Doesn't seem fair to me.
土方さんが過保護なんですよ。
Hey, can't blame me if Hijikata is an overprotective old woman.
うるせえ。
お前が変な咳するからだろうが。
Shoot it. You can run around all day you want as long as you can go a day without coughing up a lung. If Hijikata had any actual concern for Okuda's health, his face showed none of it.
しかし、やはり片付くと気分が良い。
Nonetheless, a clean home is a nice change.
まあな、見違えたもんだ。これはこれで悪くねえ。
True, this place looks different. I guess I could get used to this.
よし、これからは毎日掃除するか。
Well, maybe we should clean every day then.
おう、頼んだぜ、平助。
Great idea. Make sure you do a good job, Hisuke.
なんで俺だけなのさ。体力自慢の新八ちゃんが怠けてどうするんだよ。
May, wow, hold on a minute. You got the most energy, Shin. Don't think you're getting out of this. I'll help too.
お、そうかそうか。じゃあ明日から二人で頑張ろうな。
Good. Well, I'll give it a shot tomorrow, alright?
おいおい、ちょっと待て。誰もやらねえとは言ってないだろう。
Hey, wait a minute. When exactly did I tell you it was gonna help?
お、まだゴミがあるじゃねえか。ちょうどいい。捨ててこい、新八。
Shinpachi, there's some trash over there. Go throw it away.
いや、だから明日からだろ。なあ、平助。
We aren't starting till tomorrow, right, Isuke?
片付けたそばから暴れるな。誇りが立つ。
Stop running around like that. We just cleaned and you're already kicking up dust. I was enjoying their banter so much I almost didn't notice Okuda quietly step outside. Oh. I could just see Okuda and Dr. Matsumoto outside walking off somewhere together. Where could they be going, I wonder? Where are they going? Is it any of my business? Or am I really worried about this man who almost threatens to kill me on every other basis? Find out next time on Hakuōki Stories of the Shinsengumi. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode.